Do you want to play Werewolf but don't have much time to spare? Then try One Night Ultimate Werewolf. A lot of people revere this game, but does it really stack up? Let's grade it. The game's defining trait compared to Werewolf is that a game lasts one night. That means no player elimination, but also not much time for drama. That sounds like it would quickly get old, but there's one mechanic that keeps things interesting. There are 3 more cards than players, and 3 cards don't belong to anyone. This significantly varies the setup, allowing for countless setup scenarios. There are only 12 different roles, which is much less than regular Ultimate Werewolf, but there's more than enough wacky stuff that can happen to keep the game interesting for a pretty long time, even if games are very short. I'm giving it a 5 out of 6 for replayability. There's a lot going on during the night for the players to do. That said, it can be hard to feel like you can do much in a large group of people with their own goals. You can prod other people for information just as easily as you can trick or scheme. Even if it seems like you don't play much of a role, the player does have a lot of freedom in the short time the game has to offer, especially with the ability to modify setup. The most limiting characters are the Villager, Tanner, and Drunk. They have a straightforward goal and no ability, so not much agency there. With all that said, I'll give it a 3 out of 5 for agency. Like Ultimate Werewolf, One Night encourages the players to balance their own game. This is usually a very bad idea, but many of the characters in One Night aren't necessarily good or bad for the village. The Troublemaker, Doppelganger, and Robber are all neither good nor bad for the village. Compared to Ultimate, it's harder to accidentally screw up the game balance. That said, there is one big caveat: the Tanner. In Ultimate, there are plenty of chances for the Tanner to be eliminated, but only one in One Night. A Tanner win is super unlikely in One Night, but other than that, the game is balanced enough. With all that said, I'm giving One Night a 3 out of 5 for balance. The drama in this game goes how you'd expect. It's a few minutes of arguing, followed by a suspenseful vote, and an okay reveal. It doesn't generate a lot of drama, but it sure doesn't overstay its welcome. I'm giving it a 2 out of 4 for drama. One Night's rules aren't really hard to learn, but the character interactions can be confusing. The Doppelganger, Drunk, and Troublemaker are hard enough to understand how to play, let alone play against. Other than that, there's nothing super confusing, but the strategy is generally harder than Ultimate. It gets a 2 out of 4 for intuition. This game holds up well, just like Ultimate Werewolf. It's not as iconic or influential as the original, but it introduced a nice dynamic mechanic in changing roles. It deserves a 3 out of 3 for Legacy. Games can have 5 to 10 players, which is flexible, but not very. There's also some customization with the different characters, but not a lot. It gets a 2 out of 3 for scalability. At the end, One Night scores a 20 out of 30, placing it right next to Ultimate Werewolf, smack dab in the B tier. The game is not bad at all. It's far from perfect, but it finds a balance between deep and short gameplay. Personally, I prefer One Night, but if you like Ultimate more, then that's totally fine. That's all. Bye!